You know, certain questions arise that never seem to go away, whether it was Coke versus Pepsi, whether it's PC versus Mac, Android versus whatever. The other kind of question that just won't die, no matter how many times it apparently gets answered, is the question of, is Robert Pattinson's Batman going to be in James Gunn's DCU? It seems like it never matters how much James Gunn answers that question. It doesn't matter how much other people seem to answer that question. There are still people that seem to be completely sold on the idea that Robert Pattinson's Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman, is not just going to have their own little pocket movie universe that James Gunn seems to love so much and wants to continue, but rather they're going to cross Robert Pattinson into the DCU, and this Batman is going to be the DCU. Doesn't matter how many times James Gunn has said no. Well, now Matt Reeves himself has come out and put this to rest again. As reported in Total Film, the Batman 2's director, that of course is Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson's movie will not be merging with the James Gunn's DCU, but says working in the DCU would be exciting. He went on to said the following. He said this: despite some hopeful rumors, Matt Reeves has confirmed that the Batman 2 is an Elseworlds movie and will not be merged in with the DCU. However, he isn't opposed to directing his own DCU movie in the near future. We'll talk about that aspect of this in a couple of topics from now. But wanted to kind of focus in on this one again, because again, no matter how many times it gets confirmed, the constant chatter is, I guarantee you Robert Pattinson's going to be the Batman in the DCU. Okay, look, there's two different aspects to this and two different questions that get risen. One is, will Robert Pattinson's Batman be in the DCU? And then the other question is, should Robert Pattinson's Batman be in the DCU? The answer to both of those questions is absolutely not. Listen again, we've been over the fact that James Gunn has repeatedly said that, no, that's Matt Reeves. Like James Gunn is still the producer of everything Matt Reeves is doing. He said, but that stuff we've got off to the side. That Batman Penguin universe is its own thing. And then we have this DCU universe that is a separate thing, and never the twain shall meet. Like, they're not going to be in there. James Gunn has said it multiple times. You just got to leave it alone. I think, though, that the reason it keeps getting brought up, guys, is the fact that, so many people just want to see it. So many people want to see it because we like that Batman.
Right.
But the problem keeps becoming, guys, that the thing we love, part of the reason we love it is because it's where it is. Robert Pattinson's Batman works so great because we look at this character through the lenses of understanding that guy does not live in a universe of gods and monsters. This Batman doesn't exist in a universe where alien beings fly around and shoot laser beams out of their eyes, and mythical warrior princesses from faraway islands with magic lassos and bulletproof bracelets aren't running around. That universe is a grounded universe. And that's part of the reason that works so well. Matt Reeves designed that Batman to be in that kind of a world, not to be in a world where a 75-story high kaiju will start marching through downtown Metropolis and start stepping on people. It's just the way it is. And so, again, Matt Reeves confirmed again, my Batman thing is in Elseworlds. It is not part of the DCU. And Rob, I just think that's the right place for him. That Batman doesn't belong in the DCU. That Batman does not belong in a universe of gods and monsters. He's perfect where he is, and I want to see more stories of that Batman in his Gotham. And I'm looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does with another Batman, a totally different kind of Batman, that's more along the lines of the animated world, that can live in a world with a Superman and a Cyborg and a Flash and a Wonder Woman and a Supergirl and whoever. So the answer, will he be in there? No. The answer, should he be in there? Absolutely hell no. So hopefully now that Matt Reeves has kind of say this, it'll lead to rest. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode,
PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Anyway, Rob, how would you address those two different questions?
Well, I think you said it beautifully. I mean, the fact is, like you said, sure, we're going to have villains in that universe that maybe straddle the line, but for the most part, it is a grounded, real, it's our universe. Call it quote unquote the real world. And I think that that's why it has such appeal. That's why we liked it, because if you remember how that movie opened with those surveillance images of the apartment, you know, that really ritzy before the killer went in, before the Riddler went in. I mean, it announced itself as being, you know, when you see, to go back to like Tim Burton's Batman with its Anton First Gotham City, you know immediately that you're not in the real world. You knew that you were in a designed universe that was outside of our reality. Well, the same way Matt Reeves' Batman announced from the beginning, sure, was the construction, did it look like more European than American? Yeah, but Gotham's old world. And so it was set in these great cathedrals, that the attack on the church, that's an amazing church. You know, everything was big, everything was, but it wasn't like lots of matte paintings. Like when you're in that unfinished skyscraper, when they're overlooking the city with those incredible shots of like the sunrise, it still was quote unquote the real world. And that's why it was appealing, because you believe it. I dare say it, John, I'm going to use my favorite word. It had the kind of verisimilitude that Tim Burton's Batman simply didn't have. So that's why we loved it.
Yeah, and again, I've seen a few people. There are two common things. So I'm tired of Batman being grounded. Okay, that's why James Gunn's going to do another Batman.
Right.
We're going to get a Batman that isn't so grounded. That is a part of the DCU. Meanwhile, the masterpiece that is Matt Reeves's Batman is going to have his more grounded one. The second thing I keep seeing people say, and it never stops, well, it's going to be confusing. What are you, 3? No one is going to be confused. No one's going to, I don't get it. I thought Batman was there, but now Batman is there. What's happening? No one's going to be confused. When they put out Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, no one's like, well, wait a minute. I thought Heath Ledger was Joker. Then I thought 30 Seconds to Mars Boy was Joker. And then what's going, nobody was confused. Somebody might ask a question. Oh, so is this the same Joker that's going to be fighting Batman? No, this is a different thing. Oh, okay. It's that simple. No one is going to be confused. I bet you if I ask anybody who says, this is going to really confuse people, if I ask them, are you confused? Oh, no, not me. I'm not confused. No, I totally get it. Then why do you think no one else in the world, why do you think nobody else can put this together? It's not going to be confusing. Somebody may ask a question, say, oh, so is this the same as that? Nope, different thing. Okay. It's that simple. That's the way it happened with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. It will not be confusing to people. So I don't know, Rob, like I'm sure you had a couple of people in your life ask you when Joker was coming out, oh, is this the same as that? Or is this the same as this? And you probably then just tell them, no, it's not. Like, have you ever come across somebody who was like absolutely paralyzed with confusion over any of this?
Not well, because not really. We are surrounded by genre fans. I think maybe my mom asked me, is this a Batman movie? It's my mom who's the best. She doesn't know anything about anything, even though she raised me.
Right.
And I think that, and again, one of the interesting things about the Joker film is it took the concept of Joker and moved Joker squarely into the real world, with a meditation on how could such a character exist. Like it's showing you something that's analogous. Like I never watched Arthur Fleck, and even though they did allude to Batman and Thomas Wayne and all that, I didn't watch that movie expecting Batman to show up.
Right.
I think that it was, and the same was true. Look, I'm a defender of Joker Folie à Deux.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, well, I know, because it was the least. I couldn't believe how anti what I expected it actually was. And I wouldn't have spent $200 million on it if the movie had also cost $65 million. It was doomed, I think, to try and do something new after following up a movie that made $1 billion might not have been the best thing to do. But I still found the movie to be an interesting film. And like Quentin Tarantino, who also liked it, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It certainly was well crafted, but I never thought that Arthur Fleck, that the Joaquin Phoenix Joker was ever set in a world where Batman would show up, because that would have sort of gotten rid of the point of the whole movie in the first place, which was, it showed how our world could produce a Joker-esque character.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And how the Joker could really be real. And that's why I thought that movie was very compelling, and it skewed really close to reality. And I believed it.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Will this now finally quiet down the whole, I bet Robert Pattinson's going to be in the new DCU, and now that Matt Reeves himself said, no, there's the DCU and then there's my Elseworld thing? Or do you think this thing is just going to continue on? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.